Let's go back in time to Renaissance Italy, a period marked by chaos as rulers and conspirators engaged in a never-ending struggle for power. In the midst of such disarray, one brilliant mind emerged who would completely reshape the way we see politics. His name? Niccolo Machiavelli, a man whose journey is filled with twists and turns, ranging from betrayal to imprisonment and even exile, all leading to the creation of a special handbook that has since influenced leaders worldwide. The Prince was Machiavelli's attempt to make sense of the chaotic world around him. Today we'll uncover the story behind his masterpiece and the events that inspired it. But before we begin, don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button to show your support. Now, let's get into the topic. Niccolo Machiavelli grew up in Florence during the vibrant period of the Italian Renaissance, a transformative period in the early 15th century marked by constant shifts in culture and politics. This pivotal time saw a surge in the popularity of art, philosophy, and classical literature from ancient Greece and Rome. Cities like Florence in particular nurtured a generation of bright and imaginative minds, giving rise to renowned figures including Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo Buonarroti. Within this wellspring of cultural brilliance, Machiavelli's perspective on the world began to take shape, profoundly influenced by the ever-changing landscape of political power that surrounded him. Florence's way of governing was what many historians refer to as the feudal system, a hierarchy where most of the power and influence is concentrated at the top and kept in the hands of the wealthy, particularly families and groups that would compete for control. Because land ownership was primarily maintained by monarchs and the rich, these feudal lords would hold sway over vast territories as peasants worked the land in exchange for protection and a portion of the produce. The Renaissance ushered in a major shift away from the old feudal system of government towards more centralized forms. City-states like Florence began to emerge as centers where businesses flourished, culture thrived, and political influence grew. As Machiavelli came of age, he would closely observe these dynamics, noting how Florence's old system of rule seemed to begin colliding with newly emerging ideas. Machiavelli sensed a great change on the horizon. Thus, he felt inspired to set out and make his own mark in the political scene by pursuing a career in public service for the Florentine Republic. In the early 16th century, Florence was a crowded metropolis pulsating with life, the air thick with the scent of freshly ground spices, and the echoing sounds of craftsmen plying their trade through narrow cobblestone streets. Amidst this vivid weaving of sights and sounds, Machiavelli navigated the maze-like corridors of power, his keen intellect sharpened by the dazzling array of artistic and philosophical creativity that flourished within the city's walls. In 1494, however, Machiavelli's fortunes would take a turn with the revolt and sudden expulsion of the Medicis, Florence's most influential family at the time. This seismic event would absolutely shatter the status quo, sending shockwaves through the corridors of power and ultimately presenting Machiavelli with a pivotal moment, one that would thrust him into the eye of the storm, forever altering his destiny. In the background of Florence's lively activity, the elite were all completely divided. Families and groups continuously fought for power, creating alliances between some and enemies amongst others. Despite being surrounded by so much calamity, Machiavelli saw an opportunity to sharpen his education in politics while honing his skills in networking and diplomacy. The Medici family, one of Florence's richest and most powerful, had ruled the city-state for decades, shaping its culture and economy through their support of the arts and trade. Their tight grip on control over the city, however, had caused resentment among rival groups and citizens, leading to a sudden uprising and their unforeseen expulsion from the city. Following this incident, Florence quickly spiraled into a world of chaos and uncertainty. The Medici's expulsion essentially set off a wave of social and political unrest as rival groups and families began fighting for control during the aftermath. As the world seemed to crumble around the Medicis, Machiavelli, on the other hand, found himself in a city-state brimming with newfound opportunities and challenges. Despite the disarray that plagued Florence at the time, it wouldn't be long before Machiavelli's talents would be noticed by Florentine officials, propelling him into increasingly prominent roles within the newly established city-state's government. He would start by working as a clerk in Florence's government, where the early signs of his genius and hard work caught people's attention. Rising through the ranks, Machiavelli swiftly ascended to positions of influence, proving himself as a trusted advisor and diplomat. He quickly earned himself a position as a high-ranking official in Florence's militia before finally being recognized as chancellor for the Florentine Republic. This enchanting period of prosperity wouldn't last long, however, as the tides of political fortune would soon turn once again, bringing about a dark new chapter for Machiavelli with the return of the Medicis. The return of the Medici in 1512 brought about a prompt and decisive reversal of all the political changes made during their exile, plunging Machiavelli's future into a state of jeopardy. As the Medici regained control over Florence, Machiavelli found himself sidelined and marginalized, his once prominent position within the Florentine government entirely stripped away. The Medici's return also brought about a brutal reckoning for Machiavelli, as rumors and suspicions of conspiracy against the ruling family led to his immediate imprisonment. Accused of plotting against the Medici, Machiavelli faced months of harsh interrogation, confinement, and deprivation tactics. His body bore the scars of his suffering. His spirit tested to its limits by the violent and relentless onslaught of his torture. Yet, despite the agony he endured, Machiavelli's resolve remained unbroken, his determination giving him the strength to withstand the brutality of his captors. The year following the Medici's return was marked by torment and devastation for Machiavelli. His imprisonment and subsequent torture served as a stiff reminder of the ruthless nature of Renaissance politics, where power and allegiance could shift at any moment, and those seen as threats to the established order could face dire consequences. Even in his darkest hour, however, Machiavelli's attitude remained grounded, as he continued hoping for his moment to come where would finally get a chance to return to the political stage. After a year of suffering, Machiavelli was finally released and forced into exile. Banished from the political arena he had once navigated with poise and determination. Cast out from Florence and stripped of his position and influence, Machiavelli retreated to the solitude of his countryside estate, where he grappled with the profound implications of his fall from grace. Over time, exile for Machiavelli became less of a punishment and more of an opportunity for reflection. Now being far removed from the distractions of courtly life, he turned his attention inward, seeking to make sense of the tragic events that had shaped his life and career. His time alone led him to explore the works of ancient philosophers and historians like Aristotle, Thucydides, and Livy of Rome in search of wisdom and insight. Perhaps most useful in his reflections, however, was his study on the rise of Caesar Borgia, an Italian military leader that had caught his attention during his tenure serving the Florentine Republic. Borgia was notorious for his ruthless tactic and shameless pursuit of power. Witnessing Caesar's methods firsthand was eye-opening to Machiavelli. He admired Borgia's ability to manipulate and intimidate others, while also having the capacity to coerce and even assassinate rivals to achieve his political goals. Consequently, his actions served as a basis for Machiavelli's own political philosophy. Despite Borgia's brutal methods and morally questionable actions, Machiavelli saw them as effective in the context of Renaissance politics. As Machiavelli slowly overcame the struggles of his past, he began putting together the ideas and theories that would later become his seminal work. Drawing upon his studies along with his own experiences, Machiavelli began crafting a thorough analysis of politics and power, rooted in the harsh realities of Renaissance Italy. In the solitude of his exile, Machiavelli laid the groundwork for a literary masterpiece that would forever change the way the world viewed politics. After facing the challenges of exile and reflecting on the devastating events that shaped his life, Machiavelli began to distill all that he'd learned into a single cohesive framework that would later become his magnum opus, The Prince. Drawing upon his own experiences in politics and government, as well as his explorations of history and philosophy, Machiavelli sought to create a simple way of understanding power and leadership. The Prince emphasized ideas like the concept of virtue, which promoted qualities such as courage and decisiveness. While these were widely considered rather upstanding qualities, there were also more controversial ideas. In his writings, Machiavelli emphasized pragmatism over traditional Christian values, arguing that rulers must be willing to employ any means necessary to achieve their goals. These ideas presented a major shift away from the prevailing views of the time, challenging the way people viewed morality in government and how royalty should behave. Machiavelli's shameless endorsement of tactics like the use of force, deception, and manipulation in pursuit of political goals stunned and scandalized many, giving rise to the term Machiavellian to describe someone seen as cunning and perhaps even morally deprived. Ultimately, his insights into human nature, ambition, and the dynamics of power earned Machiavelli a reputation as one of history's most incisive political thinkers. At the time, however, it unfortunately wasn't enough to help him reach his goal of returning to political prominence. Machiavelli's book, The Prince, was originally dedicated to Lorenzo de' Medici, a member of the powerful Medici family ruling Florence, as a show of loyalty and a hopeful bid for favor. Machiavelli, recognizing the political climate, sought to showcase his usefulness while also signaling his allegiance, presenting the book as a basic instruction manual for navigating government and all its complexities. His offer, however, unfortunately didn't restore the respect he'd hoped for, as the Medici family, already aware of Machiavelli's controversial work and outspoken views, rejected his gift in the end. Despite Machiavelli's efforts to align himself with the ruling elite, his bold and unconventional ideas proved too radical for the conservative Medici regime. This rejection dealt a huge blow to Machiavelli's political aspirations, leaving him disillusioned and permanently relegated to the sidelines of Florentine politics. Despite the controversy surrounding Machiavelli's work at the time, The Prince later became fundamental in framing political thought worldwide. Even to this day, his lasting impact prompts reflection on the intricate nature of power, shaping the strategies of leaders and sharpening the minds of observers. Through The Prince, Machiavelli left an undeniable mark on political theory, urging us to always confront the ethical challenges of leadership with cunning and fearlessness. My fellow scholars, today's message was inspired by passages from a publication that can be found on Amazon Audible, entitled Machiavelli Life and Times, written by Alexander Lee. This captivating title delves into the details of Niccolò Machiavelli's life from his early childhood on through his journey as a political figure for the Florentine Republic in Italy. Audible offers unlimited access to thousands of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals, all included with Audible Plus. And with Audible Premium Plus, you'll enjoy even more perks, including 2 free audiobooks every month. So whether you're commuting, exercising, or simply unwinding at home, Audible allows you to immerse yourself in topics that spark your curiosity and ignite your imagination. So what are you waiting for? To start your journey of discovery, explore the world of Audible for yourself by clicking the link in the description and signing up today. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey through the realms of history and philosophy. We're passionate about sharing the rich history of human thought and the profound events that have shaped our world. If you've enjoyed our content and found it thought-provoking, please consider supporting our channel. Your support allows us to continue researching, creating, and delivering high-quality educational content. By smashing the like button, leaving comments, sharing, and subscribing, you're not only helping us grow, you're also helping foster a vibrant community of curious minds dedicated to exploring the depths of human knowledge, just like you. Together, we can delve deeper into the annals of history and the complexities of philosophical ideas. Join us in our quest for wisdom, and let's continue unraveling the fascinating stories and timeless questions that have defined our past and continue to shape our future. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for being a part of our educational journey.